for parents with children emerging into adulthood who are struggling for guidance to help their children move out and move on. Josh Breckheisen has been coaching youth since 2001 using the most talented and validated tools for actively engaging young adults, is an expert in recruiting and speaks around the country on the topic. Has taught portions of this material to thousands of people that have been able to leverage it to accomplish their goals and live more fulfilling lives. His speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and his title is Get Your Grown Child Out. Big Isaac.
The U.S. Census Bureau says that grown children ages 18 to 29 have 1 out of every 3 still living at home. And it's increasing. It's going up. And this is a real problem. I speak with parents every day, and they tell me that they're struggling to figure out how to help their child to move on and move up in life. A lot of the things that these parents go through are fighting in their homes. Their kids are struggling, and it becomes a source of conflict in their relationship, in the relationships with their spouses, and with other members of their family. They also become financially inundated, paying for school, phone, insurance, vehicles, medication, and on it goes. Then I think maybe the worst part I see when I speak to mostly these mothers is the guilt that they feel like they don't know what to do and that they failed as parents. The good news is that none of these are the real problem. The real problem is what I call the 5 shifts. And once you go through the 5 shifts, all of these things go away. I'm going to walk you guys through what those 5 shifts are today, step by step. The first shift is what I call mindful communication. I'm going to tell you this. For those parents who have kids and are struggling with this, you do not understand your child, and you do not understand yourself. You walk around asking people for advice. You research online, you search the experts, the celebrities, the therapists. You know all there is to know about their patients, their audience, their child. But who you know the least about is you as a parent. And the child you know the least about is your child. Once you make that shift, everything changes. Communication gets easier. You understand how your child thinks, feels, and acts. You have a language to communicate with your child. That's the first shift. The second shift, the second shift is I have the second shift. It's right here. It's in my pocket, right? The second shift is more calculated. It is to have a plan. Most of us are really good at setting expectations with our kids, right? Oh, all the expectations we want to set for our kids. And we listen to the experts. They tell us we need contracts and agreements. I'm going to tell you that those do not work. Nobody wants to live up to others' expectations. Do you? No. And nobody wants to be manipulated or controlled into a contract or an agreement. What you need is a plan. You need to get on the same side of the table as your child. And you need to sit down and find out what the real problem is. They don't need to be manipulated. They need help. They're scared. They don't know what to do. That's the second shift. The third shift is what I call the secret weapon. The third shift is to help your child get a great job. The problem is today, all the kids are going online looking for any job. They're going to Indeed, they're going to Monster, they're going to all these online job applications. They're out there with the masses. Stop sending your child to compete with the masses. Become the uncommon job seeker. When your child becomes the uncommon job seeker, they have a targeted approach. And they're trying to become an employee referral. When you do that, you are 400 times, that's right, 400 times more likely to get the job than a blank online applicant. That's the third shift. There is no shift greater at immediately solving financial problems, creating financial independence, and helping your child move on and move out. And that's why I call that one the secret weapon. The fourth shift is to set behavioral goals. There's a book called Goal Setting, a motivational technique that works. And in that book, there's 20 years of study that shows vagaries such as do your best do not work. When we change, very specifically, we set goals to change behaviors, the change in behavior brings about the change in results. Start focusing not on you need to work harder, you need to do your best, you need to be more like your brother, and start sitting down and setting very specific behavioral goals. The fifth and final shift is to seek out an expert. A recent Gallup study on education found that the most common, the number one way to figure out direction for a young person with school and work is to seek advice from friends. The second is to seek advice from counselors. It just so happens in that same research study that it is also the most ineffective way. The most effective way to figure it out is to work with an expert. Now, those are the 5 shifts. And you can go back to what you were doing, or you can decide today that you're going to make those 5 shifts and sit down with me and I'll walk you through a step-by-step process. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'll take over now for my role.